Okay, so to wrap up this file menu demo application, we're going to set up the FileChooser class to give some functionality to the open and the save button. To briefly kind of show you what this is going to be doing, if I come back up to the menu bar for my Sublime Text application, I click on File and I click on something like Open, we can see this dialog box that opens up with this open option where I can select something, say maybe like the previous pizza maker application. I could click open and it will go ahead and open that up in here. So that dialog that displayed there, that's the file chooser that we're going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my application and actually start using that with this open and save button. So the first thing I need to do is import this. So we're going to do it from JavaFX. And the one thing that's unique about the FileChooser class compared to pretty much any of the other classes that we've seen so far, you've noticed that the vast majority of them typically come from the scene package, and then something like control or layout. Or the other exception was the things like the pause and insets class that came from the geometry package. So the FileChooser class is actually going to come from the stage package. So I'm going to go ahead and do javafx.stage.filechooser. So save that. And then right here, I'm going to go ahead and make a new FileChooser. This is going to be called FileChooser in all lowercase. It's equal to a new FileChooser. But one of the things to note is that by simply making this FileChooser object, this doesn't really do anything by itself. This is just kind of preparing the object so that I can start calling some methods on it to actually get some usage out of it. So in order to do that, I want to come down here and I want to add some functionality for both my open and my save item from my menu system. So I'm going to take the open item, I'm going to use the setOnAction method, and I'm going to provide the event as the parameter, and then the method I want to call, I'm going to use the FileChooser, and then I'm going to do show open dialog. So this show open dialog, this is going to be used to display an open dialog box to the user, basically meaning a dialog box for opening a file. And then the parameter that I need to pass into here, I need to specify something that serves as a kind of anchor for it, since the dialog box itself is kind of its own separate window from the original application window. I just want to go ahead and provide the primary stage. Okay. And then for the save item, we'll go ahead and do the same thing. We have our setOnAction, we have our event. We again need the FileChooser. For this particular one, instead of using show open dialog, we're now going to use show save dialog. So this will be used to display a save dialog box to the user, basically a dialog box that then has the save option instead of the open option. We'll then have our primary stage, and we'll go ahead and save it like that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and compile this and run it, and we'll take a look at the functionality for those two buttons. We'll compile this, we'll run it. Let's see if we got our file right here. So we'll click that. We still have our three items, open, save, and exit. So if I click on open, this will now display this open dialog box, and we can tell that that's what it is. If I select one of these, this open option is accessible right here. I'm going to go ahead and click cancel. File, if we go to save, we've got the same layout right here. One difference is going to be the save option instead of the open option now. So this is going to be for our save dialog box. I'll go ahead and click cancel on that. And then of course we still have the functionality for our exit button. If I click on this, this will just exit the application. Okay. So at this point, this is going to wrap up all of the functionality and the behavior for this file menu demo, being able to use both this menu system as well as using the FileChooser class. This is also going to wrap up everything regarding advanced controls in JavaFX. Going forward from here, now that we've covered everything at least the fundamentals for everything regarding JavaFX. The remainder of the programs that I discuss will be talking about other concepts, but whenever I go to implement a program, I'm going to try to implement the program using JavaFX so that there's a more visual demonstration of how these concepts are related to one another, or at least how they work.